Hi, and welcome to Style Thoughts by Rita. Here today with us, we have our resident moral philosopher, beautiful angel, my husband, and women's and men's essence expert, Mirajdeen.
Hey.
And Miraj and I are here to share our brand new, very exciting system for women's essences with you. So the short summary is we have developed a breakthrough system by which you can classify billions of women in this world into 4 simple categories. Okay, no, but the point is that we really wanted the system to be very easy, very intuitive, very useful, and just really keep it simple. So obviously it's simplistic because there is a great variety of human beings in the world. But why bother, right? So before we jump into explaining the system, I wanted to say my whole thought behind this was, as you know, I love feelings, anything about the heart, etc. And when I look around at existing essence systems or even aesthetic kind of classifications, they're like, well, you are sporty, you are casual, you are like a mermaid, or you are classic. All of these things to me speak more about aesthetic kind of, or really the look, and not as much necessarily about the actual just energy in the heart and what I'm trying to communicate as a human being. So this essence system is really about splitting the world up into 4 quadrants, and one of those and one place is your home base for now, and you kind of express who you are to the world best from this quadrant, so you can kind of eliminate the other looks and say I can wear some of those, I can appreciate them on other people, but this isn't what I'm trying to do with my style right now. So it just kind of simplifies style by saying what you are compared to what you are not. And one quick point I wanted to make about the system is it's not a horoscope thing where you have one true essence that's assigned at birth. It's really something that develops throughout your life. Your physicality, your weight, your figure, your shape, the way you express with your face, your hair, your mannerisms, it all changes so much throughout your life as you want to communicate new levels of yourself to the world, new personas. So again, this is not meant to be here's your home, you stay in it, but it's really meant to be a system where you find yourself and then you kind of express who you are from that perspective until it's time to move somewhere else.
Yeah, and before we go into looking at the 4 quadrants and the people we think are paradigmatic of those quadrants, there are 2 points of clarification in order. One, which is that if you watched our men's style essence videos,
which is so good,
you should,
really good
you will have realized that the men are quite stuck, right? There are some movers, and we're going to make a video about that. But with the women's, there are going to be more movers. That is to say that there are more women who can kind of move from their home base. But it doesn't mean that they have a home base. It just means that they can pull off more looks outside that home base. And we think the reason for this is just a consequence of the fact that women's fashion is more developed, more refined. And there are more ways in which you can manipulate your look compared to men's fashion and style, right? And the second thing is, you need to know what we mean when we say an essence.
Yeah,
right?
that's important.
It's
that's
very important
for understanding the entire video.
Yeah. So with an essence, we think that that is something that you are within you, that is at the intersection of your psychological and physiological makeup. It is your spirit, so to speak. Now, we can't describe what the essence is directly. But
it's ineffable.
Yeah.
Uncapturable.
But what we have done is we have identified key concepts that each capture a slice of the left and the respective right essences. And we think these essences are best filtered through an up or a downness in the style. So the upness and the downness represents the ways in which you can filter your rightness and leftness.
Yeah, exactly. So again, I'm going to go through these keywords now for left, right, up, and down. I just want to reiterate what Mark so beautifully explained inside here, which is really that we don't think these keywords apply to each person, and we think, there is something more than these keywords here, but we think that these keywords really rock, and they are very appropriate.
They're concepts that help us hone in on the essence.
Okay. Yes.
Yes.
Good. Okay, so now I'm going to show you our keywords for left and right. And as we said, like we think left and right is basically like the main distinction in like what your essence really is. So for the left, we have the words sensual, intriguing, enveloping, gravity, elemental, Gaia, and the kind of shadow archetype of the lost girl. So what we mean here is really somebody whose essence, elemental in a sense, you know, it's just very like raw, like it's earth, it's fire, it's wind, it's water, you know. And also this person is it's like gravity, like it doesn't matter how hot they are, it's like your eye just goes to them. And their essence kind of also envelops you in this very intriguing way. And there's something very sensual about them. This is not to say like these people are sexy and the people on the right are not sexy, but it is something about
Hashtag
the way
all women are sexy.
Yes, all women are sexy and all women are feminine, as you will see in our presentation. But there is something about the sensuality, like a portal into the body that these women's beauty really conveys when they're representing themselves. On the right, our keywords are dreamy, inspiring, luminous, radiant, refined, the sun, and the shadow archetype of the Ice Queen. So these women, yeah, we see really like luminous, the sun, radiant. Really, you can hear that it's really about them like shining out the light into the world, and also that there's just something very like dreamy and very kind of refined, kind of elevated about the way that they are. So in a way, like you can contrast this, for example, refined versus elemental, right? These women, they're not really working with this like the direct powerful energy of like the air, the water, the fire, the earth, but it's really about like something that is more refined, something that is kind of more elevated and a bit like dreamy. So they're kind of taking you away.
I think like another really good sort of contrast here to understand the leftness versus the rightness is that the left women if they enter a room, right, them at their best, they draw eyes to them, right? That's the gravity. While if the rightness women enter a room, they kind of light up the room. So they like everyone's eyes in the room just see more, so to speak.
Yeah. Exactly. It's so beautiful. And now we're going to talk about the up and the downwards. So on the upside, we have mysterious, extravagant, glamorous, persona, dramatic, effort, intimidating, kind of the archetype of the queen bee. So again, up and down, they relate to both the left and the right women, and the up women, it just means that whatever your core essence is, the way that you style yourself is to create a bit of a persona that kind of is a bit mysterious, it's a bit more extra, it's a bit intimidating, that your look conveys effort, whether or not it took effort to actually put it on, but it's just something about it that conveys this kind of like dramatic persona that is a bit like distant. Whereas on down, our keywords are approachable, ease, understated, delicate, intuitive, personable, the girl next door archetype. And by delicate here, I don't mean delicate physically. I mean really this beauty that is like easily kind of overshadowed, right? So it's really a woman who wants to kind of, she best represents her beauty by just coming out into the world kind of in this easy, intuitive, personable way that really allows her actual kind of like, she's not a persona, she's just herself. And that is kind of like how she best presents herself, is through this down filter, which again maybe requires effort, but is a filter that through which we see her best.
And like for those familiar with our men's style system, you will recognize the word effort. And I just really want to say, underscore one thing there, as Vida so elegantly put, which is that both the down outfits and the up outfits can require effort. But it's just about the fact that the like up outfits, the people who are wearing them, they want you to like, they want to look as if they put in a lot of effort, while the people on the down outfit, you might like analyze it and you'll be like, oh, that required so much effort, but the like immediate impression is that, oh, that doesn't look like it required effort.
Intuitive.
Yeah, exactly.
Like they just put it on and it just worked.
Yeah.
You know?
Now with that said, we're going to look at some key examples for each quadrant.
Yeah. So, okay, so we're going to start with the left up quadrant. So that's kind of the combination of the sensual, intriguing, enveloping, and mysterious, extravagant, glamorous. So our first key example here is Rihanna.
Yeah, and these are what we think are some great left up outfits, which she looks the best in. So we think in all of these outfits, her sensuality really comes through. But there's simultaneously something mysterious about them. There is this extravaganza there, which like allows her to filter like the intriguing aspect of her as like a person, right? So we think she looks great in this. If she were to enter a room in these outfits, all eyes would be pulled towards her. Now, Rihanna, if you recall where we had placed her on in the quadrant, you will see that she's not super left, nor is she super up. And we think that means that she also can look good in these types of outfits. Now, the outfit here to the left, we would consider to be more of a right up outfit, just because the fact that it's not as much of this like sensuality, this enveloping, this elementalness, but it's more about being radiant, refined, and dreamy, right? But she can still pull it off because she has the ability to move, even if it's not as good as the more left outfits, because that's her home base. For the outfit on the right, we think that is a more left down outfit again, and we think the reason for that is because there is the outfit, it's like based on being like more approachable, more easy, more understated, and while she looks good in it, she doesn't look as good as she does in her, and can pull it off, she doesn't look like just as home as she does in her left up outfit.
It's not as Rihanna.
Yeah, as Rihanna. And finally here there's some outfits which we think she looks bad in. We think like a common theme for why she looks bad in all of these outfits, it's just because of the fact that they aren't left enough. So there isn't this sensuality about these outfits. There isn't this like enveloping aspect to these outfits, and they aren't very elemental. They're more trying to be refined and luminous, and that doesn't work as good for Rihanna.
Okay, and next we're going to talk about Florence Welch. So she's the singer from Florence and the Machine. And I think Florence is a great example for like a very, very up person, very left. As you can see here, so these are some red carpet performance looks. But Florence, I mean, this is her home, like truly. And I think, nowadays she just has all of her clothes like custom made by Gucci or something, because she really is just like this persona who is so extravagant, so glamorous, so intimidating, and so mysterious. And that like works for her. And you can imagine a lot of other people in these clothes would look like they're wearing really like a costume. But for her, it's like she looks so at ease in this. And at the same time, she really has this, very like elemental gravity where that's very enveloping. Like you're really like stepping into Florence's world when you're looking at her. On the other hand, if we look at some of these outfits, these are all, in her aesthetic. They're all like boho. They're even dressy. She has high heels. There's a lot of thought in these outfits. There's a lot of pieces. There's a lot of styling. But it's just like she loses some of this effort. She loses some of this, glamorous, extravagant, mysterious. And on the left, I think with just this kind of more simple prayer dress, it's almost trying to be a little bit luminous, a little bit refined kind of, and it's losing that very intriguing elemental gravity sensation. So like, again, it's not about like, she looks bad. It's more about like, this is not what like Florence's energy is that she's bringing into the world. So it's not that she can't wear these outfits, but it's more like that's not how she's like best communicating who she is right now.
Yeah, and then we have like two extra women here. The first is Jennifer Lopez. We think all of these outfits, if you just look at these outfits and you ask yourself the question, are these outfits sensual and elemental, or are they dreamy and refined? The clear answer, right, is that they are sensual and elemental, and that is really the best way to describe them. And that's also these are the outfits where we think she looks the best, because that is really her essence. Now, some of you might be like, well, wait, it's Jenny from the block. She's supposed to look good in more sporty outfits. And we think if you go look at her pictures, you're going to realize that, yeah, she does look good in those outfits when she was younger. But we feel, as Rita mentioned, throughout her life, she's moved up more into this, like, spot where it's really about the persona of Jennifer Lopez. The persona, It's not about Jennifer Lopez, the person, anymore.
Yeah, she's not really approachable. I think she's cultivating this intimidating persona. Yeah, definitely. And that's her trajectory. And then we also have Cate Blanchett, who we also wanted to mark as, again, another person who very, like, intriguing, sensual, elemental, kind of like essence. At the same time, yeah, very glamorous, very dramatic, very intimidating, nothing kind of approachable, nothing girl next door about her. You don't know like how Kate Blanchett is as a person, but it's more like she cultivates this persona of somebody who's kind of intimidating, kind of mysterious, and that's the way that we really take in her beauty, and we're like, wow, so striking, so beautiful.
Yeah, and I think it's very interesting also with Kate Blanchett here, right? Because here you see the multifacetedness of elementalness, because it's not as if she's like fire, like Rihanna, or as if she is like, like nature, like Jennifer Lopez, but it's more like she's like the rock, she's like the mountain. Yeah, the strong wind, and that's like her elemental spirit.
That's so beautifully said. So to summarize, on the left up, so we put together some keywords for each quadrant. We will make videos for each quadrant also to get into this, and we don't think that these are the only keywords, but these are really what struck us for the left up, even though we think all the keywords apply. So here, this combination of a really dramatic dramatic style with this sensation of gravity, we think. The combination of sensual with glamorous.
And this like the elemental factor that is really captured in these outfits that are a bit like intimidating almost.
Yeah, so those are the three kind of keyword pairings that we really like for the left up crowd.
Now we go to the right up.
Yeah, and so right up...
We'll start right away with Kate Middleton. And how can you be more right up than Kate Middleton? Can you read that?
I don't know.
I don't think you can. It's hard, right? But yeah.
She's literally a princess.
I mean, she's a little princess about to be a queen. But just look at his outfits. What is the first thing comes to mind? We think it's so dreamy, right? She's so luminous, radiant, and refined. That is like really her essence. And these outfits just captures that perfectly, because these outfits are so glamorous, they're so dramatic, they're intimidating, you can see the effort in them, and all of that, it's really more about Kate Middleton, the persona. Like, this is a person who is like, she is the princess of England, that's like her persona, that's the way she best filters her essence through.
Yeah, it's like there is no like Kate Middleton. That doesn't even exist. It's like exactly. She is Kate Middleton, like the Duchess.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and these are outfits where she just looks worse. And as we've said, obviously all these women here, they're very like beautiful and they look great, and women look great in all kinds of stuff. But she just doesn't look as good here, and that is because her like essence of being inspiring, luminous, dreamy isn't as well captured in these outfits that are approachable and understated. It just doesn't work with her essence.
Yeah, I also want to say what's something really interesting is I think on a lot of women, these outfits would actually be very dressed up.
Yeah.
And they would be like effort and intimidating, because like look at how high her heels are, for example, and like the tailoring on everything is just perfect. But it's like that really speaks to like how high up we think like Kate is. It's a bit like Florence, where it's like she just requires like so much, because that's the persona she has built up in a way that even though like these outfits put a lot of effort on somebody else, it doesn't communicate effort on her.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, and we also need to talk about Gemma Chan here as our other example right up. And as you recall, like we have placed her, like she's a bit like more down and a little bit more to the left. So she's not kind of as extreme of an example as Kate Middleton. But we still think like, so first of all, we think like Gemma, she clearly has a right essence. We think she's very much refined, really like the sun. I think she could really like cultivate kind of like an ice queen like reputation. Not that she's like a cold person, but really that's like a bit of the persona, and very like dreamy, right? In a very like, that's her sensuality, is this very dreamy.
Extremely dreamy.
Very dreamy, extremely dreamy. I'd say dreamy is a great word for Gemma. I mean, very dreamy. And then, but she's also upright, so we think she filters really her appearance best through these outfits. They're just like glamorous, right? And really like effort. Like, it's like the shoes, they're all like so pointy, and there's like everything is so perfectly on point, and there's like tailoring, and there's this effort, and just her appearance, I think, can be very like intimidating in kind of its radiance, you know? So really like the intimidation comes through the radiance, and we don't know like Gemma, she could be a very sweet, down-to-earth person. The point is that's the persona that she is constructing with her outfits.
Yeah, exactly.
And then if we compare that to some of her other looks. So we can just see, so on the left here, we think that's kind of like a left, like, gravity type of outfit. In the middle here, that's like a right down outfit. On the right is a left down outfit, whatever. The point is, we think like all of these outfits are outside of this combination of kind of like radiant persona, the refined effort, Gemma. And so even though she's always going to be beautiful no matter what, that's not really like bringing the very specific Gemma energy out into the world. Oh yeah, the reason I said she does this ice queen archetype is because here I had her at the Met Gala. It's like she's like literally the ice queen here. So I think that was really cute.
And 2 more bonuses here. First we have Rita's favorite, one could say.
Maybe. I love Blake Lively. She's so cute. Oh yeah, so I'll talk about it. No, but just, I think again, just very like Blake, she's very, very dreamy. Very radiant, really like the sun. Her smile, I think, really lights up. But at the same time, like very glamorous, a lot of like effort. Definitely like extravagant. Like look on the right. I mean, there's just it's just a lot, right? Like where's she going like this? And then we just quickly, we don't want this video to be like 10 hours long. But we think like these outfits, which are cool, and she looks amazing because she's beautiful, but that's not like the most Blake that Blake can be.
And then finally we have Viola Davis, and we think she is again right, and she's up, and she's both quite right and both quite up. Just look at these outfits, right? She looks very radiant here, very refined and very dreamy. And all of these outfits are really these outfits which are extravagant, they're glamorous, they're dramatic, and they just perfectly capture this refined essence of her that you just know she has.
Yeah,
right?
Really like just the
that
sheer elegance.
That you just automatically associate with her.
Yeah, okay, now we're gonna, so that's right up, and so here's our keyword combinations for right up.
So we have radiant plus effort, so we think like these people on the right up, they all have this radiant effort, and we think the way they can allow that to come through is we are having styles and outfits where it looks like they have put effort in, right? And then we think they are also very dreamy, and again, that is something that is best captured in this like glamorous outfit, and they're the inspiring essence of them. This like they walk into a room and they light up the room, and they can like inspire you to go in a direction. It's best like filtered through outfits where there's that creates a persona of them. Yeah,
that's beautifully summarized.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, I know we're talking about the right down quadrant. So the same as with the right up, but instead of up we have down, which is kind of understated, approachable, etc. So we're gonna start with Taylor Swift.
And I want to do Taylor Swift because I love Taylor Swift's music, right? It's great. And if you just look at this outfit, again, there is this dreaminess, there is this luminous, there is this radiance, but we think it's better captured for her in outfits that are approachable, in outfits which looks like, okay, wow, that just, your first impression is that looks like very intuitive outfits. It looks like it didn't require that much effort. And the outfits are delicate, and they're a bit understated almost.
Yeah, and I just think it's like incredible that Taylor pulls off this style because she's like the biggest pop star or whatever of all time. But she's like, her persona is to be really approachable, and it's like one-on-one with the fans. You know?
Exactly. And these are outfits where we think she looks a lot worse. And I mean, I'm not going to go through what is wrong with each outfit, but let's just say all of these outfits are way too much to the left for her. It's like they're trying to be very sensual. There is trying to be like, there's also a bit too much up for her in these outfits. There's something she's trying to be mysterious, and it just doesn't work for her.
Yeah, the mystery.
Yeah, the mystery and the elementalness doesn't work for Taylor Swift because that's not her essence and spirit. Again, I just want to note that these two outfits are outfits which we think she works. They work for her. They're not as good as the original set of outfits we looked at, but these outfits work because they're still outfits. Or like the outfit furthest to the left is still very much a right outfit. It's an outfit that is meant to be dreamy, radiant, refined, and so she can work that because she's still on the right and she can move a bit upwards. And the outfit on the right here, this sort of like her stage outfit, it's an outfit that is very much down. So even if it's too much to the left for her, it still works because she can move a bit to the left.
Yeah. And now we're going to do Solange. So I think Solange is such a perfect example of a write down. I would just say, so obviously her like essence, Solange, is extremely radiant, very like luminous. I mean, she's really like a star, kind of just like shining soft light into the world. And at the same time, her fashion, I mean, she's kind of like the female equivalent almost of Timothée Chalamet, if you saw our male videos, where it's like the outfits are very like intuitive and they're very like easy. And even though she's like very high fashion, there's something so approachable, kind of like almost bare about her. So her beauty is just really showcased in these looks. So when we like Solange, she's a big like fashion experimenter, and I think like if you just compare like the previous looks I showed to these looks, like you can just see that like here we just have a person who has a great fashion sense, but we're not really getting kind of that full dose of like Solange. So my point here I want to make, so with the outfit on the right, it's a very high fashion outfit. I think she looks amazing and it's great for her to kind of explore that in the world. But the point I wanted to make was that I think like at her best, it's that she's able to bring this like really understated, approachable, intuitive style, because I think like her beauty is quite delicate. So when she has an outfit like on the right, it's really about the look she's creating, which is like cool and that's art, and I think that's really valuable. But it's like then it doesn't feel as much like Solange because her beauty is just so kind of like delicate that it's kind of hidden by these very like dramatic and out there outfits. But yeah, we also have Tia Sarkar as another like write down person. So just again, you know, we think like very dreamy, really like refined, kind of like the sun, but at the same time cultivating this style that looks approachable, understated, kind of intuitive, like easy, you know, that there is something just very delicate and easy about her appearance.
Yeah. And then finally we have Emilia Clarke. And again, yeah, we think same thing here. We think that she's very dreamy. I feel like most people associate that with her, and she really is like radiant. But we think all of this is best filtered and captured in her by these styles that seem approachable, and by this style that it seems like it's a lot of ease in them.
And very personable. Like it's like Emilia Clarke, the human being.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Instead of Emilia Clarke, the persona.
Yeah. Okay, and here's our keyword combinations for a write down. So we think the first one definitely is like dreamy and intuitive. So it's dreamy women who are like, you know, just allowing their intuition to guide them. Very refined, but at the same time, very approachable. Really radiant, but like the style is kind of very delicate. So just a really fresh kind of like, you know, beautiful like star.
Yeah, exactly.
And now just for our last quadrant, we're going to talk about left down. So this sensual, intriguing, enveloping combined with this easy, understated approachability. So our first example here is going to be Kim Kardashian. So as you can see, she's like quite down and quite left. And we think like this is also why like Kim has really popularized, right, this very bare style. I mean, she is very understated, very kind of like easy and intuitive, which is like insane because, you know, she spends so long, right, getting ready every morning, getting styled, all the Photoshop, all the butt surgeries, but still it's like all to look just like easy and natural. And that's kind of like the persona that she really cultivates. But at the same time, she very much like gravity, really intriguing, I mean, very sensual style and very just, very like enveloping and really bringing you into her. So here are just like some quick outfits where we think like, you know, it's, you just think like, oh, wow, like her body looks insane, or like, oh, these are cool looks. But it's like, that's, you know, that's not what she's famous for, basically. I think that's all I want to say about that.
Yeah, and next person we have here is Zendaya, and we think these are outfits which all just looks like amazing in, right? So again, there is something like fundamentally very elemental about her, something almost like Gaia.
Oh yeah, definitely Gaia.
About her, there is this like windiness, this airiness combined with this like fire. And we think this, for her, is really best captured in these like styles where they are quite like a bit like understated. And also styles and outfits that are like delicate in their presentation, and we think she just looks best in this. Now compare this, but we also think Zendaya has like the ability to move more upwards, right? She has the ability to really pull off these styles to pull off her leftness in more upness outfits that are like more mysterious, more extravagant, more glamorous, while still being left outfit. And this is an example of those outfits, and we think she still looks like amazing in them because they really allow her elementalness to come through. But yeah, these are styles where she looks like worse, and I think it's quite clear that she looks worse. And a common problem with all these styles is that they just go way far to the right, and she tries to be way too refined in them.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm sure she's a refined and sophisticated person.
Yeah, exactly.
But it is like this kind of elementalness. And the Lost Girl, I mean, if you think about her as Rue, like in Euphoria, or the girl next door, if you think about her in Spider-Man, right? So it's like that's kind of her casting as this very left-down woman. We also have Aquafina here on the left-down corner, just again, very like easy, understated. I had to put this together. Like Aquafina, she tries to dress a lot of like different things, and I just think like she's just not kind of like leading with her most true self here. And finally we have Kristen Stewart, and we think these are outfits which she really looks best in right now. You look at her and your eyes are really like pulled to her. She really has this like gravity in her essence, and there's also something very like intriguing about her essence, right? But all of that is like really best captured in this approachable and understated outfit. And it's interesting also with Kristen Stewart, because if you look at her more in her twilight days, you could make the case that she was significantly more to the right. We're still very down, but more to the right. Dreamy.
A bit more dreamy. But you know, as she has like developed over her life, perhaps as she has tapped into more of her true essence, she has really gone to the left, and we think she looks really good there on the left down. Yeah, and these are outfits where it's like she looks good, but she just doesn't look as good because all of them are a bit too much up. So even if they have this elementalness to them, they just travel a bit too much up.
Yeah, I mean, she looks very like high fashion and cool, but that's not really the Kristen Stewart. And our keyword combinations for left down, we think like very intriguing but understated, having this very like gravity, but at the same time very personable. And just sensual, but really easy. I mean, I think that's like a really big one. Very sensual and easy for the left down ladies. So that's it basically, right? That's the 4 quadrants in our system. And the last thing we want to talk about is like how to use the system, unless you have any.
No, yeah.
Yeah. So I just want to like I talked about this a little bit in the beginning, like what is really the point of all this? Because I think like by now, after hearing us actually analyze all of these things and seeing these style pictures, like maybe you disagree with some of the specific placements, and that like we're totally open to, but we think like intuitively the system like just really makes sense. So I really envision like the usefulness of this is to help you figure out like what you're not trying to be, you know, because sometimes like you can look at women from the opposite kind of side of the spectrum. You know, if you're a very left person, you can look at these very like refined kind of dreamy people and you're like, oh, I would like to be this lady. Or if you're on the right, you look at the left ladies and you're like, I would like to be as this woman is, the way that she is. It's so the elementalness, the gravity. But it's kind of like, and of course you can be that and you can make changes in your life, but it's like if you like identify yourself as a left down person, it can just kind of be liberating to say like, well, these other looks, they're very cool, but that's not really matching like the essence and the gift I'm trying to bring into the world right now. So the outfits I want to construct should have more of this kind of intriguing but easy, this like sensual but intuitive qualities to them. And definitely like in our future videos, we talk a bit about like what like some style recommendations for the quadrants are, because we do think that it's not all just intuition, right? There's some sort of kind of like techniques to how you can actually accomplish these looks. But at the same time, the reason we really led this with just talking about the feeling is because we think like the feeling is at the core of the system, and the execution kind of comes if you just tap into your understanding of the system. Yeah,
so I really like recommend that we're gonna make, as we did for the men's system, we're gonna make a video for each quadrant where we really like dive deep into that quadrant with more examples. And I feel like as we go through more examples, everything will become clearer. So if you're not like fully grasping it right now, you will as we have gone through each quadrant.
Yeah,
because that will allow us to zoom in both more precisely on what the essence is, but also how one can really best filter that essence based on the specific quadrant, and there will be like more tips and tricks.
I guess so many tips and tricks. I wanted to say something. Yeah, no, so yeah, we have a lot of like women people asked us to put in, and we just didn't want this video to be like 25 hours long.
Yeah.
So we're definitely going to get those women into our future videos. So we have not ignored you, we have not forgotten you. And if you like this, you know, I'd really appreciate it if you actually like the videos, so I know. And if you like know somebody who would find this interesting, I would really be grateful if you like share it, because I'm just like so excited about this. And yeah, we're just really happy that you watched this, and like thank you for being here with us, and just, you know, I'd love to hear your thoughts.
And see you in the next quadrant video.
Yeah, okay, bye.